When we talk honestly about the Treasure Valley, when we're moving to Boise, there are a lot of things that you're considering. You're looking at views, you're looking at schools, you're looking at community, you're looking at commutes, you're looking at traffic, you're looking at the grocery stores, all sorts of stuff. But what I wanted to do in this video is I wanted to choose my favorite 8 neighborhoods in the valley. And what I wanted to do is take those from 8 different cities. In the whole Boise Valley, you've got Boise, Meridian, Kuna, Eagle, Star, Middleton, Caldwell, Nampa, Garden City. Those are your 9. I took 8 because I didn't find a subdivision I wanted to talk about in Garden City. There actually are a few good ones. $1 million properties actually in Garden City, and there's a little nook. It looks and feels like Eagle because it's close to Eagle. So I took 8 subdivisions, and we're gonna dive in to find out if any of these align with what you're looking for. I'm looking for space, I'm looking for views. Some neighborhoods are on golf courses, some neighborhoods are in picket white fences. I mean, some of the picturesque neighborhoods. And so you're hopefully gonna find something here that fits your vibe. And also one thing, you might be surprised because a couple of these come in at 4, 5, 6 that aren't number 1. And people who know Boise might be just a little bit surprised that some of these neighborhoods ended up in the top 5 or 6 and not 1 or 2, because most people I deal with are very impressed with a couple subdivisions, and one of those neighborhoods didn't even make the top 5. So let's take a look. The first one comes in Kuna. Kuna is an awesome town. It's located about 8 minutes away from all of the amenities you need and shopping you need in Meridian. So it's secluded for sure, but connecting Meridian to Kuna is Meridian Road. And off of Meridian Road, there's a subdivision called Lavender Heights. I've sold 1 in there. Hey, real quick, before I give you this information, I actually made a mistake. This is still South Meridian. I said it was Kuna. It's not. It's definitely still South Meridian. And it's a good subdivision. It's fantastic. What you find in Kuna is there's a lot of homes that bring down the median price point, not because the quality is bad, but just they're smaller lots, smaller homes, and new builds, and they're just cramming homes into Kuna, in my opinion. Lavender Heights doesn't cram homes in the subdivision. It puts the homes in there. It's planned. There's a ton of walking paths. They've got community pool. They've got fiber optics. They've got Lavender Heights has views of Bogus Basin. Like, it's really beautiful where it sits. It's awesome. It's right on the south side of Kuna, and it's not far from Discovery Park. Discovery Park is a huge park. It's got pickleball, it's got play toys, it's got a ton of stuff. It's there by a Brighton community. Lavender Heights is my pick for number 8. 187 homes there in that neighborhood. Homes that range from anywhere from like 0.1 acres to almost a half acre. And then you'll be able to see and experience all the homes. I mean, you got smaller homes, larger homes, a couple thousand square feet, twice that size, that type of thing. So there's a good range of homes. As for the builders in that subdivision, you can see them on your screen. Not one of those builders is a shabby builder. I love all of them. The home I sold in there was in Eaglewood, and Eaglewood's actually one of my favorite builders in that neighborhood. You can see the lowest, highest, and median price homes there in Lavender Heights. There's also a $600 a year HOA fee. Remember, that does include your water rights. So you will water the grass and your shrubs and your trees with that water for essentially free, including the HOA. Including the HOA is your pools, your walking paths, the lawn mowing, the upkeep, all that type of stuff. Why my client chose that neighborhood was the price point. That price point, they got an RV bay, they got a 2-story home, beautiful yard. It was an easy pick for them because they got a huge RV bay. And then if you know Eaglewood spec homes, they don't skimp. They are awesome. I wouldn't say their finishes are out of this world. Sometimes you'll find upscale builders and their finishes don't look like anyone else's. Some of their finishes do, but they just do a lot of extras, in my opinion, that a lot of other builders don't. And so they found a lot of extras, and they found an RV bay, and for them it was a match made in heaven. If location is everything in real estate, then the Keep, coming in at number 7, has a lot to offer you. The Keep is a ton of $1.5, $2.5 million homes, awesome lot sizes, huge, massive homes. In Meridian, this is South Meridian, it edged out Century Farms, it edged out Tuscany, it edged out Paramount. There's a ton of subdivisions all over Meridian. I chose the Keep because it was a little different spin on things. And there's only 1 active home right now. There's only 2 homes that have sold in the last year. It's not huge, but I really like the Keep because of where it's situated. It's located on a main intersection of Lake Hazel and Eagle, close to the YMCA, close to Boise Ranch Golf Course, only a couple miles from the freeway access, from hospitals. South Meridian's growing a ton. I could have picked any neighborhood in South Meridian and you would have been happy. If you've seen the Keep though, the Keep is something special. There's a ton to like there. The HOA dues in the Keep are $1,400 a year, a little bit more pricey. I have toured quite a few actually. A lot of those homes are pre-sold, but I have had a chance to tour a lot of them. But everything in the Keep is a hair above a half acre. I chose the Keep, but honorable mention would have included Century Farms, would have included Bainbridge, Bridge Tower West, Tuscany, Paramount, so many good neighborhoods in Meridian. There are so many. Meridian's like the residential hub. So to choose the Keep was to choose something a little bit outside the norm, a little bit higher price point, but something I liked, and I liked the views from some of those lots in the Keep. If you want the views, no traffic, and a little bit more spread out in the luxury, I've got a subdivision in Nampa that might be for you. This one is Lone Star Ranch in Nampa, and it is located South Nampa. To be clear and to be honest, I don't sell a ton in South Nampa. I sell maybe 1 or 2 a year. And Lone Star Ranch is a very good subdivision, but it's located near Lake Lowell, which is fantastic for boating. There's a Nampa and a Caldwell side. The lake's huge. A lot of these homes out there are being built within the last 3 years. Anywhere from 3/4 acre to over an acre lot sites over there in Lone Star Ranch. Builders there include Iron Oak, Brookstone, Cotner, Prominent. There's a $600 a year HOA due there. The home prices there are pretty tight knit, 1.2 to 1.8, and you can see the range there for low, high, and median home prices on your screen. An honorable mention neighborhood for you in Nampa is Lake Vista Estates. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me about this one at number 5. This is Star River Ranch in Star, Idaho. The location, the river setting, your access to stores and shopping while yet being tucked away and not hitting all the traffic and all the hustle and bustle of Boise and all that it offers. Star River Ranch has a ton. It has great builders, small homes, large homes. It has one massive home. It's like on 4 acres. The house footprint itself is probably an acre's worth, which is, 45,000 square feet. Joking, but it's probably a 10 to 12,000 square foot home. Like, it's huge. There's a clubhouse there, there's a community swimming pool, there's ponds, there's the river, there's the walking trails. It's got the fountains, it's got the fiber optics. The HOA dues are $1,800 a year. You can see a wide range of prices. I mean, you've got some homes that are close to 700,000. You've got some homes, and in fact, you have a lot of homes that are in the millions. And the highest goes to 1.375. The builders in Star River Ranch are not slouch builders. Oakmont, Taylor Jean, Sunridge, Madden. There's not a single builder in Star River Ranch that I don't approve of. I love Madden, I love Todd Campbell, I love Oakmont. I love Taylor Jean. All these homes, whenever I go in there and to sell a home, the homes do not disappoint. What people end up buying there for is the high-end luxury feel. You've got nice homes, I would say the reason people buy in Star River Ranch is because it is a nice community and your values will be upkept. I would say the reason that keeps people out is you might be paying more for a home there than you would 2 miles north. That's not any different. It really depends on what you're wanting in your community and possibly looking at future values, but you are paying a pretty penny to be in Star River Ranch. And before we move on to the 4th best subdivision, I want to remind you who I am. My name is Brian Hymas, born and raised here in Boise. I've lived outside the state for just a couple years, and I have seen and helped dozens and dozens of people move here from out of state. I've got a process that's gonna help you do it. So if you're looking to move here in the next 9 or 90 days, give me a call, text, email. We'll get you started on the Buying in Boise Blueprint, and we will find out your desires, your wants, your needs, your timelines, and we'll get you set up and started so you become a full-fledged, freedom-loving Idahoan. What if you're looking for country living at a steal with views and open lots and open air? I'm gonna take you to Cascade Hills in Middleton. I sold one home in here this year, and it was on a Tradition home. There's Tradition, Mendiola, Patriot, Albertson Construction is even building one in there right now. It's not a huge subdivision, but when you get acre lots, you're not gonna have a ton of homes. I'm gonna guess there's probably 25 homes in the subdivision. In this neighborhood, it's a slower paced neighborhood. This neighborhood is my ideal. The neighborhood I live in is very, very similar to this. Like, you don't get a neighborhood swimming pool, you don't get sidewalks to walk on, you don't get all these things that require a ton of upkeep. You have HOAs, but you do have CC&Rs that are bare minimum restriction. You're looking at views, open lots, you're looking at fences between you and your neighbors. Some lots in there actually don't. I have loved everything about that neighborhood. It's off Lansing Lane. An honorable mention neighborhood right by Cascade Hills is called Quail Haven. Super, super similar homes. In fact, I would say the builders in Quail Haven are a quarter step, maybe even a 1/10 of a step better. I like Highland Homes over there in Quail Haven. I just like the open air of this subdivision. It's flat. I like that a lot. Quail Haven's not. You'll find homes in there anywhere from 2,500 to 4,200 square feet. Nothing massive, but yet nothing small. In that neighborhood, I've seen chickens. I've seen kids running around just in the street. I really like the feel there in Cascade Hills. The home prices you'll find there are all north of $1 million to $1.5 million. When you move into an acreage property, I would say the thing that people neglect to think about is it's gonna cost money to put in the yard. The grass, the shrubs, the trees, the curbing, the bark, the mulch, whatever it is, you've got a lot to put in. In fact, I see a lot of people putting in pools at that budget and just count for $125,000 minimum for a pool. We've got 3 cities left. We've got Eagle, we've got Boise, we got Caldwell. Obviously, we know which one's gonna be first, right? Well, think again, because this one is Boise. On this one acts and feels just like Eagle. If I were to give a real Boise neighborhood, it'd probably be Hidden Springs or Harris Ranch, but we'll keep those as honorable mentions and we'll go to Dry Creek in Boise, Idaho / Eagle, Idaho. Why do I say / Eagle, Idaho? It's Eagle schools. Dry Creek Ranch just never disappoint. When I take my clients in, when I take you into Dry Creek Ranch, you'll see 3-rail white fences, you'll see open lots. Some sections of the neighborhood are 2.5 acres. Some sections of the neighborhood are like 0.1 acres. They're dinky, but you've got open spaces, you've got walking paths, you've got neighborhood pools, you've got clubhouses, you've got a ton. I've not seen a home less than 2,300 square feet. I've seen homes up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square feet. Boise Hunter Homes is building a ton in there. Now, they were in there with a lot of other builders such as Asbury. They were in there with Highland, Biltmore, Zach Evans, Tradewinds was even in there. High quality homes in that neighborhood. In fact, not a single slouch in that neighborhood. It's a closed subdivision, closed meaning the developer chooses the builders that will go in there, which is different than the number 2 subdivision, which is open and which allows any builder to go in there, just has to build with strong, strict standards. HOA dues in there about $1,300 a year, but for $1,300 a year, you are getting a ton. Those values of your homes will be protected. It's not prim and proper, so to speak, but it's very neat and clean. There's a lot of fire and police people in there that I've seen. I've heard number 3, Dry Creek Ranch, and my future number 2 being called Mini California, for better or for worse. I've heard people say they were afraid to say where they were from until they figured out that everyone else is from California and Washington too. Home prices in Dry Creek Ranch are very wide. You'll find that number 2 as well. 700,000 to north of 2.4 million. There's a section of Dry Creek Ranch that I love. It's the Estates. That's where I put my clients, was in a 2.5 acre lot in the Estates. It is absolutely beautiful. They built with Boise Hunter Homes. Boise Hunter Homes was fantastic to work with. I really enjoy working with them, working with my clients and them, being that person that could help facilitate everything. And when my clients were in trouble, I was able to help them out and facilitate with Boise Hunter Homes. They were super good. They're gonna try to fight for their side, just like we'll try to fight for your side. But really, when all is said and done, a good partner in the business, and they are very realtor friendly as well. What if I told you the number 1 neighborhood did not include a 3-hole golf course, 3 tennis courts, 3 pickleball courts, 3 neighborhood pools, a laser-leveled soccer field, walking paths, prim and proper neighborhood, and it wasn't number 1. What a shame. That's Legacy coming in at number 2 in Eagle, Idaho, my old stomping grounds. We absolutely love living in Legacy. When I go back and drive through, I realize how good it was. But when all is said and done, I had to go with a neighborhood that had acreage lots, awesome views, just the country feel, and that one's coming at number 1. So here is all that Legacy offers. One of the cool things about Legacy is how many ponds they have, how much open area they have. I think they have about 16 ponds. They have 90+ acres of open green space. There's also a lot of honorable mention subdivisions in Eagle. If I were to say my next favorite, we looked at Homestead very seriously when we were trying to move out of Legacy. One of the cool things about Legacy is the CC&Rs and the HOA. The bad part about that is that it really depends on your level of strictness. I had people coming around that neighborhood with a clipboard telling me my infractions, and that's actually happened when I was listing my home, and for me, that wasn't my fit. I was actually glad there was a for sale sign in my neighborhood when I saw that, but I do miss the pool, I do miss the community, I do miss the 3-hole golf course. Like, it really comes at a cost. And speaking of cost, about $2,000 a year for your HOAs, and there's different sections of the neighborhood that have different costs for the HOAs. There's also different sections of the neighborhood that have different ACC guidelines, meaning you might have to build with a 50-year roof in one area and a 30-year roof in another, or you might have to sort of have a certain amount of stone in one area, and you might have to have a different fence in one area. Most of the fencing there is wrought iron and open. Some of it is not, but most of it is. There's a canal, there's luscious green walking paths, there's fountains, there's flower pots that flower over, there's water that comes out of those pots as well. It's just beautiful. Absolutely love it. As you walk through there, as you drive through there, as you see it on the screen as I'm talking, you'll know that it has a ton. Dry Creek Ranch and Legacy, number 3 and 2, are both subdivisions that are designed to be able to move in there at a low budget and slowly move up and keep living in the same community. That's the whole idea of why they do small acreage lots and townhomes in some of these, and then they have massive homes on the water. Like I said when I was talking about Dry Creek Ranch, Legacy is an open sub, meaning anybody can grab a lot and build as long as they build to the standards they are given. I mean, there's production home builders in there. There's Richmond America, there's CBH, there's custom home builders, there's MK, there's White Pine, there's Solitude, there's Tradewinds, Zach Evans, Iron Oak. I've sold Iron Oak in there. I've sold an MK in there. I've actually sold quite a few in there because that was my stomping grounds. I sold CBHs in there. I lived in the CBH in Legacy when we were there. And that's why I love CBH so much. By the way, quick plug for CBH. If you hear don't buy a CBH, crappy built homes, whatever they say their acronym stands for, I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I've lived in their homes, absolutely love them. A couple honorable mention subdivisions in Eagle. There are a lot to choose from. We love Homestead as well. And if you're going for the higher end luxury, custom to the nines, Creighton Woods is a sweet, sweet subdivision. Everything in there is to the nines, like absolutely beautiful, massive homes. Another couple are Williamson River Ranch and Mace River Ranch. They're next to Two Rivers, which is another great subdivision, just a little older, like 5-10 years old. And so it really depends what you're looking for. Eagle has so many good options for you. There are really neighborhoods for any budget. So this is what you need to ask yourself if you're looking at buying Legacy. If you are okay with stricter guidelines that come from the CC&Rs, monitored by the HOA, if you're okay with that, trading it off for the quality of life that you have, trading it off for keeping your values up, then Legacy is for you. But it might not be as good as number one, because what we did is leave number two for a subdivision like number one. And that is, all right, number one is a subdivision that's very near to my subdivision. I am super biased. The reason I love where I live, and the reason I think you'll love too, is because it's close to the freeway, huge homes, more than an acre lot. Some of them are 2 in there. I just love Timber Hills and I love everything that it stands for. I love the builders in there as well. It's really close to Purple Sage Golf Course. It's really close to the freeway, which I already mentioned. I think you'll love Timber Hills. You can be to Nampa in 15 minutes. You can be to Caldwell shopping and nice dining in 10. The homes in here range from 2,200 to 6,000 square feet plus. Bradshaw, Blackstone, and Willow Creek homes are in there. Know 2 of those builders personally. Both of them are outstanding builders. HOAs in there are low, less than $500 a year. So the reason this is Caldwell/Middleton is because it's officially a Caldwell address, but where it's located, no one even knows that's Caldwell. It's essentially Middleton. It's Middleton High School. It's Caldwell because it's the county. It's not city of Caldwell. And so I took some liberties on this one, just like I did with number 8 and number 3. I think you couldn't care less about the actual name on the address or the envelope. If it looks and acts and feels like Middleton, it's Middleton. And so I'm giving this one a Caldwell because I don't have any other homes in Caldwell or neighborhoods that I wanted to show off in Caldwell. So I took this one reverse and I showed it as number 1, Timber Hills. And the price point is up to $1.35 million. Like, there are for sure nicer. And a quick honorable mention is Purple Sage Estates. There are more homes in Purple Sage Estates, very similar to the neighborhood I live in, very similar to Timber Hills. I really like, if you can't tell, acreage properties with low HOAs, and I really like to have the open air, and I like to have views of the mountains. I love the freeway access. I love close, within 15 minutes of shopping and theaters and all that type of stuff. So that's why my top 8 includes these neighborhoods. Those things weigh very heavily on me. If luxury is your thing, Creighton Woods, Williamson River Ranch, The Keep, those things will be on your 1, 2, and 3. If it's something else, maybe you need to be crammed in there and your budget doesn't allow. Like, your top 8 is gonna look different than mine. But this is my top 8 subdivisions, where to buy in the Treasure Valley. It gives you a broad perspective of the whole Treasure Valley. You'll notice there's not a lot of neighborhoods in Boise, by the way, because Boise's not really growing. It's the outskirts of the areas that are. Really, the North Highway 44 corridor, that's Eagle, Star, and Middleton, that's grown a ton. And you'll see things in South Meridian growing a ton. That includes eking into Kuna as well. South Nampa, West Caldwell, the open air. These things are growing and it's fun. Meridian obviously is growing because they're putting up new homes every second, it seems like. So if you're looking to move to Boise Valley, give me a call, text, email. There's no greater compliment that I received in that phone call, text, or email saying you're moving here and you need my help. And I would love to help you out in that process to make you a full-fledged, freedom-loving Idahoan, whether it be in the next 9 days, 90 days, or you've got a different timeline, or you just want to get in touch. Please give me a call, text, or email, and we'll get you started. Also, if I missed anything, please put that in the comments below. There are probably neighborhoods that you're like, hey bro, why did you miss this neighborhood? I would love that. I could do a part 2 on this easily. Enough comments of making a part 2 of other honorable mention neighborhoods. Please, please, please put that in there and I will get that started. And if I made mistakes, if I had any blunders, please put that in the comments as well. Tries, because some of the, but when I will say also honorable, you know, when you take people into, as long as they build to this side, it's 55, and you know what?